growing up in my family, there was a tradition. When each of my siblings turned 16, we would go to the DMV and get our learner's permit. Then my mother would take us in the 1968 Volkswagen Bug that her father had bought new, right across the street to the big parking lot on a Sunday and teach us how to drive. Well, that worked. We each got our driver's licenses first try. But the trouble is that my mother would want to drive her own car. And when she was driving her car, we'd have to drive my dad's, which was a 1977 Ford Pinto with a 4-speed manual transmission. That was a problem for me. But my mother took me over to the parking lot in my dad's car and tried to teach me how to drive a manual. It didn't go well. I was scared, I was nervous, I constantly stalled the car. I thought I was ruining the transmission. So my mother told my dad, "You're gonna have to teach him." So one Sunday, my dad tossed me the keys and said, "Let's go." And I said, "Wait a minute, Dad, aren't you going to drive over to the parking lot?" And he said, "No, let's go." I got in the car, and before we started, my dad explained to me how transmissions worked and how clutches worked and how it engaged the flywheel and how it started the car smoothly. And it helped me a lot because I could see it in my head how things worked. And suddenly, it made more sense. And I started to drive my dad's car. In fact, I started to prefer to drive my dad's car. Eventually, I got that 1977 Ford Pinto. Yeah, I was living large. But when I talk to people who are afraid of speaking in public, they remind me of me in that manual transmission. They don't understand how things work, the mechanics, what tools they need to be effective, and to, instead of drive smoothly, how to speak smoothly. But after they learn that, they start to get engaged, and in fact, just like me with that manual transmission, they get to enjoy it a lot more. Right now, I'm driving a 2004 Volkswagen GTI with a 5-speed manual. I love driving this car more than any other car I've ever owned. I just really enjoy it. And I don't even think about it. In fact, while I'm making this video, I'm driving a manual, minding the speed limit, shifting when appropriate, and it's as smooth as I can get it. So if you want to become a great public speaker and really smooth, all it takes is learning the rules and learning the tools that you have and how things work. If you want to learn to drive a manual transmission, maybe I can talk to my dad and he can give you a hint.